Hey, what's up, guys? This is BanTheTesters here, and we are back with another episode of In Defense of. Long time no see, guys. And so, again, if you guys are new to this is just where we sit here and shine a light on some films that some films or media or video games that may have not been well received at the time of release, etc., and try to see if there's some hidden gems in there. And today, very special movie. Actually, we have the King of Fighters movie, which was directed by Gordon Chan. If you guys might have seen Jackie Chan's The Medallion, he also directed that movie as well. So it stars Sean Ferris, who did Never Back Down as Kyo Kusanagi, Maggie Q from Live Free or Die Hard as Mai, and Will Young Lee from Die Another Day as Iori, and also Ray Park from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace as Darth Maul. He plays Rugal here as well. And also David Lynch, he also plays Terry Bogard here, except a CIA version of Terry Bogard. He plays Terry Bogard here, and you guys also might have seen him do some stunt work and a bunch of films. He released his own movie way back in the day, but he also is actually known for directing Keanu Reeves in John Wick as well, which was an awesome movie. Anyway, so the release date for this was 2010. If you guys remember, back in 2010, King of Fighters 13 also came out as well. So yeah, it was hot off the heels of KOF 13 is releasing. We should really just release a movie in tandem with this. Budget was actually estimated to be $12 million and only did $2 million at the box office. Had a very short run. And it's based off of SNK's KOF franchise, which debuted in 1994, which I'm a huge fan of as well. I love KOF, my second favorite fighting game series. I love it. I love that stuff. I can't get enough of KOF and stuff like that. And if you guys haven't heard of King of Fighters, it's a fighting game that is actually very popular. There are fans in the United States, but it's actually really popular in South America and Europe and things like that. So definitely across the pond and from South America. But yeah, so let's get this on. So personally, man, of course you guys know it wouldn't be on this, we wouldn't be making an episode if I didn't like it. I loved this film. It is definitely just B-movie, straight to DVD action, action film at its finest. Ray Park, oh my gosh, Ray Park really plays this, really plays Rugal's role just very, you can tell like there's a smile on his face every time Rugal is on screen. He's just having a blast playing the main villain. Of course, Rugal's the main villain. The storyline to this is just very basic. It's basically these fighters use Bluetooth headsets to transport, it almost looks like their consciousness to different places around the world, just to sit there, fight, and learn from each other, etc. Rugal, of course, Ray Park's character, wants to merge the two worlds, the real world and the KOF world that these guys are fighting in. Basically, super basic plot. It doesn't really matter. You guys aren't really looking at it for this. You guys just want the cool martial arts scenes, etc. So, of course, Maggie Q probably under a lot of pressure because she has to play Mai, and that's a character with a lot of sex appeal and things like that. Of course, Mai, the juggle things like that. You guys know my character. Even if you guys aren't a fan of the King of Fighters storyline or the King of Fighters franchise, you guys know who Mai is. She's made a lot of guest appearances in other games and forms like that from SNK. Which is great. And she does a very admirable job. She plays Mai very, I would almost say that she's almost kind of sort of the straight character, but she plays Mai just very, very serious. This serious conviction. Mai is actually working with the CIA with Terry Bogard, and I'll get to that later. But I really liked how she portrayed Mai in this world. Especially, again, this is kind of, I consider this movie an alternate universe to the KOF universe, and a lot of people have to remember that KOF does have a story, and we sometimes the games that you get, we get the KOF like Dream Matches, like KOF 11 and things like that. It doesn't always have a storyline in them, but people have to remember that sometimes with video game adaptations, you can't you kind of sort of have to go off and do your own thing, because sometimes maybe the story really doesn't either make sense to the filmmakers or won't make sense to the audience, especially if you stick too closely to the source material and things like that. So I can tell you that some costumes from some of the characters, some of the video game characters who show up, I believe Rugal shows up, I believe, later on towards the end when he's about to fight William Lee's character, Iori. towards the end, and you also do get to see Terry Bogard's outfit as well, which is awesome. The way he gets his hat is actually pretty funny. So you do see the Fatal Fury cap as well. It's awesome. There are a couple of nods to the video game. It's great, man. It's a really fun, good time. This is definitely a turn off your brain. You know, we have nothing else to do on a Saturday movie where you guys can just curl up with, you know, maybe it's the boys or the girls, or, you know, you guys are hanging out and you guys want to watch an action film to sit there and just laugh at, just talk and stuff like that. This is that film. Just touching upon some things with the casting. What's awesome, what I love about the casting for this is the fact that they casted actors and actresses who have done either stunt choreography or fight choreography somewhere in their careers. They are known for just you know, either that film, you know, either a specific film or just doing stunts in general. Again, William Lee, you guys remember from Die Another Day. He was also on Strike Back, if you guys watch that on Cinemax as well, as a known martial artist, and he also did a voiceover for Sleeping Dogs as the main character. Did awesome in this movie, plays Eeyore with such conviction, super intimidating in the movie. You can see there's one scene where he's about to be taken over by the Orochi, which is like this evil spirit, kind of in the vein of, you know, Evil Ryu or what Akuma succumbed to in the Street Fighter franchise. And it's just, you see this conviction in his eyes, super serious about kicking ass. It's awesome. He's super intimidating. It is great. I love the fact that they casted these people who have done fight scenes. They could have easily have half-assed it and casted actors and actresses who are either known for their acting, you know, the super big acting prowess or things like that, and could have just easily have half-assed that. But the thing about the fight scenes that I love, and again, we'll just go straight to it. Fight scenes are awesome in this film. They definitely have a certain flow to it. When the camera is on these actors and actresses, you know, it's steady for the most part, I think, except for some experimental shots where they're doing like twists and turns, or, you know, diagonal shots or whatever, just cool looking shots of these actors and actresses doing their thing. There's minimal wire work. I think I only remember seeing wire work on maybe about 2 scenes, fight scene wise or whatever. It's not even relevant. I mean, most of the scenes in this movie are putting the actors and actresses in the shit, or at least it looks like it is. I think the only exception from there being some cuts to show that maybe, you know, this person didn't do their own stunt work or whatever is in the form of Sean Ferris's Kyo Kusanagi character or whatever. There were just a couple of shots, like I'd say about maybe 3 or 4 shots, would just look like he either just didn't take a fall or things like that. But most of the time, it looked like these characters, you know, these actors and actresses were taking the falls and falling on tables and doing that stuff, and the camera was steady, and you could see that this is the actor, you know, doing their own stunts. It was awesome. As I said, the fight scene towards the end, they have a fight scene between Rugal and Mai, which is a Maggie Q's character, and Ray Park's character, which is cool. You see the flame, you know, his legs start to light up on fire when he's sitting there and trying to kick Mai, and she's backflipping and stuff like that. It's just great. It's a great fun time. There's a fight scene with Rugal and Kyo, which is awesome, where he starts, it's a sword versus baseball bat. Rugal, you know, is Ray Park is just having the time of his life with this smirk, and he plays Rugal with this, you know, kind of very super kind of British accent, right like this, like, you know, he kind of does his Cockney accent, or kind of sort of, you know, just the nitty gritty accent. He has a cocked smile the whole film, and it's amazing to see him just have a blast in this role. The film that the character that stole me was probably David Leitch's character, who plays Terry Bogard. Of course, this is not the same Terry Bogard from the video games. It's different. He's actually an Afghanistan vet who comes back home and starts working for the CIA, and is bitching and moaning about not getting a computer, you know, not getting a certain camera, quality cameras, to where they're spying on this place towards the beginning, and he's bitching and moaning about, you know, how come we can't get quality cameras and this stuff in Afghanistan, etc. It's just, he really steals the show in this movie. It's great. I love seeing him. I love seeing this character. I really wish he had more. He really didn't have a lot of screen time, but I really wish he had more, because I think he stole the show. This is almost in the vein of Chris Klein's performance as Charlie Nash in the Street Fighter Legend of Chun-Li movie, and you guys know that I'm a huge fan of that. But I love this movie. I love his portrayal of Terry Bogard. It's great. He has a couple of really good scenes. There's one scene where they're in the KOF, quote-unquote, I'm using air quotes, you guys can't see it, KOF universe, and he is getting ready to, Mai it seems like she's trapped. She's about to fight up, you know, Mature and Vice, who are characters from the video games you guys don't know, for King of Fighters. And Terry jumps in, and he's like, hey, he looks at them, they're 2 girls, and he's like, hey, I got this, or whatever. And he leaves. And then he turns around and it's Vice and Mature and it's like 5 or 6 different hobos. He's like, hey, wait, my, wait. And like you see, he's completely gets his ass kicked. He's really fighting for his, again, the stakes are high. He's really fighting for his life here and stuff. And he actually starts getting his ass kicked towards the end or whatever. But it's just a great little scene. I think Terry really, his portrayal of Terry really just lit up the screen for me. And it was just a lot of fun to watch him do it. It really sucks that he really didn't get a lot of scenes. He was a main part of the cast, but he really didn't get a lot of scenes, especially a lot of martial arts scenes, especially towards the end. But David Lynch, if you guys don't know, stunt actor. Again, as I said, co-directed Keanu Reeves and John Wick. And here you can see like he's falling off of things, he's flying at walls and stuff like that, and you can see that the shots just perfectly align him because they don't have to cut away because he's a stunt actor, and it's just great. I thought he did a really bang up job on that. As I said, the movie's a lot of fun. There are a couple standout scenes for me where Rugal and Keo are about to fight. And it's a super intimidating fight. You think shit's about to go down, and Rugal kicks Keo through a doorway, and he comes out the other end across a hall, hitting a wall. And it's just an amazing scene of just Rugal's prowess of just being a badass in this movie, and it's awesome. I couldn't have asked for anything more. I just really loved it. It was great. Of course, the latter half, it's the last 30-45 minutes is where the movie really picks up, and it's also just set in this one kind of back alley. Where fish warehouse type thing or whatever is really where it's set at. But I love this. I love the sets. The costumes towards the end were great. I really couldn't see some of the costumes and stuff like that transitioning from the game into the live action movie very well, but they did. You do see David Lynch's Terry Bogard in his costume with the hat, jeans, and the vest and things like that. That was really awesome. And you do see Sean Ferris with Keo's costume as well. Not so much for Mai, and you do get a bit of Rugal's outfit as well. In the movie. So I mean, honestly, like they did really do it up with fan service. It's not too much. Sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be watching an adaptation of something or whatever and get kind of annoyed because there's a lot of fan service. But there's some slight nods in the video game which I really enjoyed. But honestly, I really think that you guys should definitely give this movie a chance. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. It's super cheap on Blu-ray right now. Again, I didn't do very well in theaters, but I really think that this was a super underrated gem. I loved it. I loved the cast. I loved the of course the plot is it doesn't really matter. It's irrelevant. You're really just watching over the fight scenes, which I felt were, especially of this caliber, directed DVD, were top notch. They were just a lot of fun to watch. So if you guys are vaguely familiar with the games or whatever, just give this a chance. To sit there, you just hook up with your friends. Do a pizza, whatever you guys do to sit there and watch cheesy movies. This movie gets it done. And I think it'll have you guys talking. So yeah. Anyway, so this looks like we've come to the end of this episode of In Defense Of, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Please like, comment, and subscribe as well underneath, and please let me know in the comments what you guys think of this movie, and what do you guys also think are some gems that have been maybe not gone over so well with the public as well. But let me know in the comments below what you guys thought about the movie, if you guys loved it, hated it, whatever. We're all about discussion here. So thank you, and again, this is BanTheTesters, and the defense rests. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening.